Well, my name is Jim Love. I'm Professor of International Business and Innovation at Aston Business School, and I'm also the lead researcher on Theme 5 of the work of the Enterprise Research Centre, which is on exporting, innovation and growth. As the name suggests, the whole focus of the theme is to look for the interaction between innovation, exporting and growth in small and medium-sized enterprises. We know from previous research that innovation, the introduction of new products and processes, helps growth. We know that being involved in international markets helps growth. But we don't know much about how these two things interact in small and medium-sized enterprises to promote growth, and that's what we want to try to understand here. The three key research issues are, first, how do small businesses use the knowledge around them to actually gain the information they need to enter international markets and to engage in innovation? Small businesses don't have all the knowledge they need to innovate successfully from internal resources. They have to access information and knowledge outside. How do they do that? What's the mechanism by which they do this, and how do they get this knowledge into their new products? Secondly, how do they innovate? How do they export successfully? Lots of small firms export very intermittently. They export this year, then they don't do it again next year. Why is that? That's important because we know that firms which export persistently tend to grow faster. So we want to understand more about how that happens. And ultimately, what we want to do is find out how these things lead directly to growth in small firms. How do they grow? Why do they grow? How does innovation exporting help them do that? I think our work will contribute to growth in two ways. First of all, by helping policy makers, and secondly, by helping small firms themselves. We want to give better advice to policymakers on how they can develop joined-up policy thinking. For example, in this country, policy on innovation is organised by a different part of government from that organises export activity. The key thing is to understand how these things can work together and give better targeted and positive policy advice to small businesses. But we also want to be able to have an influence on small firms themselves and their interest groups, for example, by explaining to them how being a persistent exporter can actually lead to higher growth than doing it intermittently, and helping them develop the tools to do that more successfully.